guys like the comics? So I guess it's time to get started. Yeah? Everybody ready? Yeah! Alright, so here are a few of our lovely sponsors. Comic Book Shop, Stranger Comics, Dark Horse, Lion Forge, Escape Pod, and the giveaway sponsors as well, Greg Pack, Sean Pryor, James Wright, Jackie Koss. Yep. So big shout out to them for making it possible for us to give back to you all for attending this panel. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cameron, aka CG, aka Black V Black Canary today. I go by Black Girl Manifest on Twitter, and I'm part of a little podcast called Nerds of Praycast. And we're 4 Black women who talk about nerd culture, comics, video games, and everything in between. So be sure to, shameless plug, follow us. Oh. Don't look. Technical difficulties. and now we see nothing.
Just keep talking.
Okay.
Introduce.
All right, so I'm gonna go introduce our wonderful panelists. When I say your name, feel free to just, give a little shake to people. So, first we have writer Brenden Fletcher. He has worked on Gotham Academy, Black Canary, and upcoming Motor Crush, which I'm personally really excited. There we go. Alright, so next we have Juan Ferreyra, who is an artist working on Green Arrow, and upcoming The Outfit, Nailbiter 27. These covers look awesome. Next we have Wendy Xu, who is an artist and creator of Moon Cakes. So
Steve will be running in later.
So next we have Victoria Robado. She's worked on Janet Holograms, Fragile, and the wonderful upcoming acceptance letters.
That's our new comic. We'll talk about that later.
And of course, this panel wouldn't be complete without introducing T. Vixen Franklin. Y'all already know who she is. She is not new to the comics game, but you should be really excited for the upcoming The Outfit Nailbiter 27 coming out later this year, and Acceptance Letters, which looks amazing, and also End the Stigma, which is a mental health anthology. So be on the lookout for all of these.
One more.
And we have Kwanza
Osajyefo.
Thank you. Who's a wonderful comics creator. His work includes Black, which y'all should all be on the lookout for.
If you can find it. Sold out everywhere. We have a few copies at the Black Mass booth, maybe.
So without further ado, we're going to get this panel started. Y'all ready? Yeah. Are y'all ready? Yeah. All right. Take it away, T.
Okay. So I want to thank you all for coming. This is our 3rd Black Comics Month panel. And for whatever reason, they put us in a smaller room. I know y'all can't see me in the back, so I'm just going to be like, hey, black people. Not black people, but black people. How y'all doing? Okay. So, we're going to have to talk to New York Comic Con and make sure we get a bigger room, because every year this panel grows. And obviously by the looks of things, from what I can see, besides just the top of everybody's heads, it looks like it's pretty much a diverse crowd in here. Looks like we need to be represented in comics. No? Yeah. I'm just saying. So, I always ask, what does diversity mean to you? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not here for that today. I'm really not, okay? Because it's the same thing all the time. Basically, it's inclusivity. We want to be included in books. And when it comes to comics, we all know it's hard because the certain
Say it.
certain you know, Marvel, DC, excuse me, I got a little cold. You know how they like to, you know, just want to avoid it. But, you know, it's not all about the big two, even though I've got big two people on opposite ends of the table. But they're also doing their own work. And I am proud to work with this man to my left, Juan. Him and I were doing you see Nail Biter right there. This is my first comic. So I'm really excited to have Juan working with me on this. It will be out sometime in December. It will be in the back of Nail Biter 27. And it's got some blood and guts in that shit. Okay, it's really horror, and Gail Simone edited my first comic. Gail Simone edited my first comic, okay? My first one. So yes, this is a big deal. Why did they choose me? I don't know. I think because I run my mouth a lot and talk about diversity and saying, hey, why the fuck we not in shit? And they were like, okay, here you go. I don't know, but I want to throw it to you, Mr. Black, Mr. Kwanza, not because you're black, but I want to throw it to you because have y'all seen his Kickstarter? Did you hear about this Kickstarter, Black? Yeah. Y'all don't sound like y'all heard about it. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. Okay.
Well, if
please.
you don't know, now you know.
You only wanted, your Kickstarter goal was how much? Just the goal?
30,000.
30,000. That's a lot of money. But what was that end figure?
We made 91,000. We hit our goal in 3 days.
Now, is that not something to be hyped about? Now, can you tell us about it? Because it looks like there's a black person in a hoodie. We're going to point it out.
Yeah, so Black it's a project that's been kind of on the back burner for me for like the last 10 years. So I've had a long career in comics. I worked at Marvel, I worked at DC as an editor and online. And one of the things that sort of inspired this was that, you know, for that 10 years that I worked in the industry between those two companies, I was the only black guy in the room most of the time. And that's something that I don't think people were aware of, but of course I was aware of it. When you're the only brown person in the room, like that kind of sticks out to you. And the person who inspired me to actually like really know that I had a place in comics was Dwayne McDuffie. So when I was 16 years old, you know, and Milestone hit, it woke me up. Like I didn't realize I wasn't included in comics. I was just reading them as a child, as a fan. And the minute that hit, I was like, oh wait, Static looks like me. Like there's a place for me here. So like a true geek, I straight up cold called Milestone and said like, I got the hot stuff. Like I can draw, I can write, and they let me actually pitch. So Dwayne had me in his office for like an hour. I showed him some hot garbage. But he took time out of his day to sit there and talk to me for an hour and tell me what was up. He told me how the industry worked. He told me how to get an internship. He told me like who to talk to and where to apply. And sitting there in front of this like, you know, 6 foot, 200 foot person to me, like really drove home to me that like I had a place here and I could like, you know, really carve out a path here. So I wouldn't have a career in comics. Like that right there is because of him. Like if I didn't know he was there, I didn't know I could be there. So that's kind of what inspired it. And I didn't answer the question yet. But the premise of Black is, what if only Black people had superpowers? So it's a political but commentary, but also a comic books commentary, because for the last 75 years we've had Superman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Flash, like all of these characters who don't look like us, and like that's just a huge, no pun intended, white space that needs to be filled. And so I wanted to make a comic book where only Black people had superpowers, and explore a story where how would the world react to something like that happening.
And obviously people wanted it. I mean, 91,000. How many backers?
2,775, I think.
Y'all give it up.
If any of y'all are here, thank you.
And then it launched in Harlem last week, I think was it?
Yeah, we did a pop-up sale in Harlem, because I live in Harlem, so you know, I just wanted to bring it to the people. You know, I wanted people to see, just like I saw through Dwayne, like we're here, we create, we make stuff, we tell our own stories, we have our own perspective on comics. It's a lot of things, but primarily it's just a nerdy sci-fi story. Yeah.
But you sold out there, and then it got into comic stores, and you sold out in comic stores.
Yeah.
And now no one can get it, except at the Black Mass booth here.
Yeah. So swing by, like we're holding on to copies, but we're selling a few. So if
Is there a second print?
I guess there's gonna be. I didn't. I thought they were sold out when you guys found out.
It should. Thank you. And as he said, we need to tell our own stories. And speaking of telling our own stories, hi, Wendy.
Hi, T. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you. Ooh, she done broke the mic.
Does it? Okay. So
Yes. So you created mooncakes, your own. Why did you decide to?
I grew up reading or like watching a lot of TV shows and movies about witches, like Halloween Town's one of my favorites, like all that stuff on the Disney Channel, and like Harry Potter, obviously, and the Worst Witch. But they're like a lot of like British boarding school type narratives with predominantly white characters, and I always really liked witches, and I just decided to make a story about like a Chinese American witch and a werewolf with my best friend Suzanne, who is not here. She's in Chicago. She's really awesome. Apart from, so Mooncakes is about it's about a witch and a werewolf in like a small town in northern Massachusetts. It's like it's kind of a rom-com. It's kind of a scary story. There's a demon horse. They don't like horses.
I'm with you on that.
Right? Like, it was like funny story. I was at SPX a few weeks ago, and someone asked on a panel why I didn't like horses, and this little girl wanted to fight me. She's like, why? She's like, why not? They're so great. Anyway, so you can read Mooncakes online. It's mooncakescomic.tumblr.com. We started it actually. We launched it a year ago, so it's actually the 1-year anniversary.
Congrats.
And the comic updates slowly, but it's truly like the story of my heart, the story of Suzanne's heart. There's a lot of her and the characters as well. And the first chapter and a half is up. We went on hiatus for a little while over the summer while I was finishing like a few freelance projects. But I like it. Well, obviously I draw it. I think the art's like gotten a lot better over the last year and a half, like even as I've been drawing the comic, even though it's only like a chapter and a half in. And I really hope you guys check it out and enjoy it. And if you like it and want access to like more art from Mooncakes and background extras, there's a link to our Patreon on the top of on the website, and you can kick us a few bucks a month. if you are so inclined.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those who are live tweeting, please use the hashtag #BlackComicMonth. I would love to trend. Thank you. Okay, so Wendy did her own thing. Kwanza did his own thing. There's somebody else sitting next to me who's done their own thing. But I'm not gonna go to them. Let's talk to Brenden. Okay.
Jeez, T.
Hi, Blue, I missed you.
Hi.
How you doing?
All right.
All right, good.
Just had a really good lunch.
Oh, really? What you
Feeling
had?
good? I just ate at Friedrich's. Had to get out of the comic for a few minutes.
All right. Well, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, came back for you.
All right. Sorry. Okay, so Brenden is white.
You didn't even tell me that.
Just wanted everybody to know. And then we have another white man who's late. Look at that. No. Everybody welcome Steve Orlando. Okay. So, Brenden has done some amazing stories, and I love Brenden so much. He included Vixen into Black Canary issue number 9?
8, 9?
That was her first appearance in the New 52. And
Kind of. She sort of showed up in the background elsewhere.
yeah,
We talked about
we
this.
talked about
Yeah.
it. We talked, they didn't. But
I hear that story.
you know,
Oh, we
that's
I'm sorry,
off the
totally.
record story.
totally interrupting your train of thought. But yeah, I mean, Vixen.
No, Vixen, not me, because yeah, I'm Vixen.
But it was,
but
how many
it's
years were
the
we in?
Vixen.
5 years into the New 52 and there was no significant appearance of Vixen? And,
Exactly.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I had limited control over what I could do, but I had a plan and I tried to execute it.
Right.
It didn't quite. I didn't quite achieve what I wanted to achieve because there are other company-wide circumstances
Yes.
and rebirths that kind of get in the way. But
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's good. Vixen was out there, and now there are other opportunities for
Yes.
that character to appear.
Yes.
in
Yeah, there's
comics.
one major opportunity.
Yes.
Hi.
I know, even though I'm not done with Brenden, but since we brought up Vixen,
Well, if we're talking Vixen, I mean,
yeah, we gotta go to him. So
Hello.
Steve is now, I don't know if you know, but there's a one-shot for Vixen, a one-shot. Boo. But there's a one-shot of Vixen. We had Vixen. And Vixen is going to kick ass
And keep kicking ass in the Justice League of America.
keep kicking ass, so more than one appearance. Which is good. Can you just throw my name in there?
That's what I can do.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I gotta go back to
That's
you, Brenden.
it's all right. I mean,
I-
Steve and I had the same goals. I mean, we were both just
I
we
know.
both loved the character, both doing our best to get.
You
the
guys
character.
know Vixen, right? Because I don't hear any type of enthusiasm for Vixen. She's just only Vixen.
Well, this is, it's all been ramping up to this, I think, 2016-17, which is the year of Vixen, because now she's going to be in a great new ongoing series. She's also going to appear in Legends of Tomorrow every week.
Yes,
She's
she
also
is.
going to have a second season of her animated series.
Yes.
So, that's the most Vixen we've ever
we've
seen.
ever seen. And she's been around since 70s. So, she's, if you don't know who Vixen is, I feel really sorry for you. Whatever. But Brenden has this awesome book that's coming out, Word Crush. I should have probably put a different photo up. But she is a black lead, correct?
She is, yes.
And she has this bat. Oh, there she
Whoa!
is. There she is. I know you can't see because they put us in a stupid room where nobody can see anything, but Such as life. Motor Crush is coming out when?
Motor Crush is out December 7th from Image Comics. We're in Artist Alley. We've got some Ashcan previews if anyone is interested in taking a look at what it's all about. And it's badass ladies on bikes. That's in a nutshell.
I mean, look, we all want to include, look, when you leave your home and you open your eyes, it's not diversity. It's just life. I'm a queer, disabled woman of color. I'm not a diverse person. I'm me. And the fact that we're not represented in comics sucks. And that's when you start doing your own thing. And yeah, I know y'all can't see in the back what's going on, but I'm like really throwing shade and like giving side eyes or whatever. So if you see a little laugh or whatever, that's me throwing shade at somebody. So this one next to me, she is the gem colorist. There you go. Yeah, take the mic. She's a gem.
I don't do anything. I just sit all day out there and like not doing anything.
She does a lot. She is actually my artist on Acceptance Comics, which is these three beautiful witches right there. Taiwanese, Afro-Panamanian, and she's African-American, but she is from the Solomon Islands. Her background is the Solomon Islands.
Let's just start from the beginning. I just see a post on Facebook from a retweet from Carlos P. McNeil, who's awesome by the way,
Yes.
of you looking for an artist. And I favorited that tweet, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the computer and email her. And as soon as I'm writing the email, I get an email from you.
Yes. Literally. It was fast. It was
Like,
fast.
Girl, you're on your phone like this.
Yeah, it was like,
Burst into fire.
and we just,
And you told me the pitch, and I'm like, I please let me help you with this. Please let me work on this. Let's make it happen. Obviously, it's not. You get the idea that the artists are gonna charge a lot of money, and yes, it's like lots of work and everything. But when something really touches you, you figure out the way to make it work.
yes.
Even if there are hurdles in the way, and sometimes you get a lot of no's. Thanks to the internet now, there's a lot of opportunities, and there's a big audience that you just need to find it, or you just need them to find you, and that's what happens when you're pretty loud. People will find you.
You throwing shade at me?
I don't know.
She throwing shade at me. It's alright though. It's okay.
I'm not from here, so I can't really say anything.
It's really all about doing. Oh yeah, it's really all about doing your own thing. Like, I don't know. Was anybody in the race and sexuality panel last night at 8 o'clock? Anybody? Okay. Well, you missed a really awesome panel. Like, it was just dynamic, and I spoke on basically the same thing. Do your own shit, man. Do it. Nobody is gonna stop. The only person who's gonna stop you from doing comics is you, and that's really it. If somebody in DC or Marvel or whatever editor, and they're like, oh no, that's not good, blah blah blah. Okay, fine, thank you very much, and then you do it yourself. You go and you do it and you put it online. And eventually somebody's gonna find it. And if not, keep on pushing it. Don't let a no break you down. I know it can be hard at times, but don't let a no break you down. Seriously. Okay, y'all can stop lining. Y'all can, if you wanna ask some questions, you can start lining up. While I still talk to a couple other people on my panel. Don't all rush up at once if you have a question, Okay, where are you at? Steve has this book. I feel like we're talking the same thing that we did yesterday. But
Hello,
Steve has this awesome book, Virgil. Really, did anybody read Virgil?
I like that rule.
It was one woo. Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. Did anybody read Midnighter? Alright, okay. Did anybody read Steve's Supergirl? Does anybody read at all? just okay, alright, okay. You know, look. Steve, talk about Virgil. I know you have other books, but I mean, and then you're running the whole JLA, which is good, but I'm just, you know, a Virgil fan, and I only want to talk about Virgil when it comes to you.
I'm here for you.
Thank you.
Virgil came about for, you know, it's actually a lot of what you were talking about, you know, about seeing something that you want in comics and not waiting for someone else to do it. You know, I had, you know, when Django Unchained came out, there was a lot of sort of hype about it being a risky movie and, you know, and it being an edgy movie, and I understood that media blast, but I also found it strange because, you know, and, you know, Tarantino's opinions notwithstanding, like, saying racism is bad is not a risky statement in 2013 or whatever you know, whenever that came out, unless you're a jackass. So, I wanted, yeah, well. So I came out of the movie and I was excited about the energy behind it, but I said, if this was, you know, if this was bold, like, Django would have been gay, Django would have been queer. Like, there's no reason that, you know, strapping Jamie Foxx can't be fighting that hard to save his husband. There's no reason that John McClane can't be fighting to, you know, to throw Hans Gruber off a building for his husband. Alan Rickman, I couldn't remember his name. And so I came out and I wanted, you know, I said, you know, this is something that should happen, and we're going to make it happen. At that point, it was just queer revenge fiction. And at that time, you know, I had come across these stories about what was happening in Jamaica. I swam in college with two people from the Jamaican national team, and it was fascinating to watch how they dealt with gender. And it was something that I wanted to learn more about and spread the word about. And I took that not in any small way. You know, I'm a queer person. I'm not from Jamaica. I'm not a police person. But at the same time, I look at things like that as I would want people to approach queer characters, like if you are not queer. And that's how I approach Virgil. You know, I would never expect someone. I don't want people, when it comes to queer representation, to be afraid of pushing forward representation. But it's about understanding. And if you guys were the panel yesterday, you've already heard this. From my point of view, at least, I hope that people, you know, understand where you can go and how you can do your work and what belongs to that community. So in the case of Virgil, that meant years of research. It meant scripting the book and producing the book and getting it into the hands of people, into gay men living in Jamaica, to see how it reflected their life. And when they tell me what works and what doesn't work, not having an ego about it, you know, this is their life, and taking those and making those changes. And not just using secondhand sources, I mean, firsthand sources, and creating this world that helps people know what's going on, hopefully galvanizes people about what's happening there. And that's you know, right or wrong, that's how I would want people to approach my own issues as when it comes to representation, and so that's how I approach those things. You know, the analogous story is when it comes to queer representation, like I would never, you know, and don't be afraid of using queer characters, because that's the world, like you said, but know what belongs to the community. You know, you can put queer characters into a book, but don't expect as a straight person that you understand the coming out story like that's ours. You know, or in the case of trans representation, the transitioning story, that belongs to that community, but that doesn't mean that you can't push forward this idea and help representation. At the same time, without deigning to think that being on the outside, you can make a statement about the intrinsic experience of those people. I think that belongs to them. But helping visibility and helping push things forward, I think that anyone can do that, and everyone has a responsibility to do that. And that's how Virgil came about.
Thank you.
Dude, I gotta give you a high five. That was like the most moving statement.
Thank you. Okay, hi Juan. I know you're just chilling, like, am I gonna get a question? So Juan here, besides the fact that, oh yeah, not enough mics. The fact that Juan and I are working together, he's also the badass artist on Green Arrow.
Uh-huh.
Woo! Oh, so you have to read Green Arrow, huh? No. I don't know, you got some competition. You gotta, I don't know.
I gotta write Green Arrow, I guess.
I guess. Sorry. So, he's also, everybody has Colder, right? Everybody has Colder. Because Dark Horse gave me like 5,000 copies of Colder. So, this is the amazing artist on Colder.
Yeah. It's about insanity.
Yes.
Crazy people.
Mental illness.
Mental illness.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why they chose me to draw it. Yes. You want me to talk about Colder?
Talk about what you want to talk about. Talk about our book.
Our book?
We got a book.
Yes, of course.
We gotta have our book.
I don't
Y'all
know
better
how
buy our book.
Yes. Oh, that came about last year, I think. I was in an airport, and you sent me a text if I wanted to work with you, and I said, okay. When I'm on airports, I'm like easier to approach, so when you asked me, I said, okay, yes, but maybe next year because I don't have time now, or something like that.
Yeah.
And next year came, and you remembered.
Yes, I did.
I thought you were going to forget. And then, okay, and the timing was okay because I had that free time after doing like 3 issues of Green Arrow, and then I wanted some vacation, so I asked not to do one book so I could have some free time to do other stuff, and one of your stuff was yours. The funny thing is that I said yes without even like reading your script or whatever, like on faith. When the script came, it was amazing. It was a nice surprise that I really liked it. So really scary, and some of the stuff that I like to draw.
Yes.
Blood.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood. There's a lot of blood.
Yes.
Last
Yes, it is an awesome book. It's an awesome little story that it could be like a full issue. But
yeah.
you did a good job packing it in
I left
just 4
it
pages.
open-ended just in case,
Yes.
we could work on some more.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to see someone doing the cosplay.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yes, of course.
So maybe we can work on some more.
Yeah, I think maybe yes.
Y'all tweet that because I have proof that you said that.
Yes.
Last year at New York Comic Con, I was approached by, I was actually interviewing Joshua Williamson, who writes Nailbiter, and for Image Comics. And he took over the interview. He said, hey T, you write, don't you? I was like, yeah, for the sites? He's like, I got 5 pages for you. Maybe it's probably gonna be 4, but I'll try and push it to 5. That was New York Comic Con last year. I have not written a script. I didn't know how to write a script. I didn't know anything. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then I started to have like this awesome panic attack, and I'm like, why does he want me to write anything? Who the fuck am I gonna get to draw? Oh my God. And then I was like, Juan! He said he would give me a few pages.
Yes, I was just across. I came last year to New York Comic Con.
Yes, and
Bad idea.
I said, hey, remember? And
Yes.
that's really how it came about. And as we said, Gail Simone edited the book. And when Juan read the script, he texted me, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, but it's okay. I even had worse ideas than you have, so all the time in my head. So
Okay.
it helped me out to get it out. So. And it's not like my problem now. It's like everyone's gonna blame you.
I know, because there's a lot of stuff that's well, it'll
People
be.
come to me all the time like, "What's on your head?" And I'm like, "No, it's just a writer. It's not mine. Everything's the idea of the writer." So if
Well, okay, I
it's
just
a lot
want to
of blood,
put this
it's not
out
mine.
there before you read the book. He did some stuff that's all him. I just said XYZ, and then he just took the rest of the alphabet and drew it in blood. So, okay, that's all on him.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going to start with some questions, and we have some awesome things that we will be giving away. And
Oh, y'all are on it. Y'all already lined up.
they all here, Daniel Brown and Fake Cage is going to give out some books to those who have questions for the audience.
Hi. So one of the things I've noticed when having like discussions with my fandom friends who are African American or my fandom family members, like mostly my stepfather, is that it is important to create new characters. And so I'm so excited to hear that that's happening, like create new diverse characters. But I am also not like poo-pooing at the idea of changing characters who are originally like canonically white into different minorities, as you tell by my cosplay. So I feel, I kind of just want to know maybe your opinions on it. Is it important to have both? Is one, do you think, more important than the other? Just kind of, what are your thoughts on creating new characters versus changing canonically?
Oh, I have so many thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I think it's important that companies, well, I mean, we're all talking about Marvel, right? We're talking about
Pretty much.
we're talking about like a female Thor, and I think that's a good thing for visibility because they are, you know, one of the top publishers. So I think that's a good thing for, you know, bringing that diversity into their like fold and actually, you know, like, making it commercial and like benefiting from it. At the same time, yes, we need to continue making our own characters. Again, I'll always speak to, you know, Milestone and Dwayne McDuffie, like making original characters that had original origins that were their own and from their own perspective. Like that is necessary.
Amen.
Because we can't. We love you, Miles, but you're wearing somebody else's clothes.
Ooh, yeah, I'm sorry. And most of y'all, if you look in your comic piles, you actually have Milestone comics. If you look, you have Milestone comics. So enjoy those comics. I'm just saying, there's some Milestone comics in there. Whoever has a Milestone comic, raise your hand real quick. I got something for you. Show it. I need to see it. What is that? Also, ain't nobody got no Milestone comic?
No, they end up seeing that.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say. Oh, there we go, Milestone. What's that? Static Shock right there. Uh-huh. Yeah, see, y'all should have got different seats. But no, it's really important, like, with Captain America. That just, like, irked the hell out of me. I mean...
What, that he's just Black Captain America?
Yeah.
Or, like, he's not...
Yeah.
He's not Falcon anymore, and Falcon was legit. Like he was his own
exactly.
character, his own origin. I mean, it's great, but
can I ask? Do you think that there's like is it good? Like that disrupts people at the same time. Like you know the mainstream of seeing that Captain America is black. I don't know the answer to that, but you know it's good to make people uncomfortable. It's like you know good trouble like John Lewis says. You know, and like it's. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Like I faced a similar thing when Midnighter came out because he was created as a gay character, and when it happened, the original DCU announcement, you know, it's largely split down the middle. Fans who say, "Oh, you know, like it's good that he was a brand new character," and then there's fans as well that say, "Well, it doesn't count because he's not an A-list character." You know,
I think he's A-list, man. Midnighter is awesome. I'm a fan. You know.
No, and I appreciate that. This was also before it came out. So it was like, you know, it'll count when you turn Green Arrow gay, is actually what someone told me. So like, I don't...
No, but I think the idea is that Midnight or Apollo to be an A character because of the stories you tell. You get to tell better stories, it's going to be a...
And I don't have an answer for that. I feel like, I mean, the answer is both, like you said, essentially, because people view legitimacy of these characters, you know, in wildly different ways.
I mean, I feel like at some point, starts to almost feel like lip service sometimes because I don't know the sales statistics, but it always feels like it's a big deal when it's announced and then all of a sudden it just drops off the map and you never really hear about it again. And so it's like who's like consistently supporting these books and like supporting these characters, but most importantly supporting like those creators.
Seriously, like we can talk and we can have all these diverse panels every single con, which I'm probably gonna do, but you need to open your wallets and you need to support the creators who putting these books out, Because if you're not supporting them, they're going to get axed. And then you're gonna bitch on Twitter, and then it's just the same cycle all over again. You can't say, oh, we want this, we want this, we want this. You can chant and bullshit all you want, but if you're not pulling out that money, it doesn't mean anything, because it's just words. There's no action behind your words. Support these creators that's up here, that's probably sitting in. Do I have any creators in here, comic creators in here? Support them. Support their work. Because if you want these stories, go to their booths. Shameless plug. If you want these stories, we can't make them because we gotta pay. We got shit to pay besides making comics. We got bills to pay, and you do too. But if you want these comics, you want these things to happen, you want to sit in these panels, you want to clap and woohoo. But if you're not paying a dime, you can keep that shit.
Now, should I talk about it right now, or should I let you?
Nah, talk about it. Nah,
That's
talk.
what it is.
I'm sorry, I get heated because nobody wants to support. They just want to come and talk and not put money behind it. And then they're like, oh, why did Nighthawk
Well,
go down?
sometimes I understand it can be difficult when, you don't know how it's going to be. You don't know if it's going to happen. You don't know what the record of the writer or artist are. But that's when you just show them a little bit, or you tell them about what's going to be, or you organize a Kickstarter next year, spring
2017. Shameless plug, I-13. Yeah. So we sort of kind of got around the question and spoke about something else. But next question. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Hello there. My name is Stefan.
Hi, Stefan.
My question mainly pertains to the fact that, do you think there will ever come a time where race is not always, I always wanted to be a focus on, especially diversity in not only comics, but video games and other forms of media, but I noticed that, especially recently, especially with the ongoing social issues and, the racial climate going on right now, it's kind of, if you so much as bring anything up, it's like a firestorm. Like when I went to go see Captain America 3, which I loved, it was one of the best movies of the comic book wise. I remember I would just always discuss it with my friends, and they would always come back or War Machine, oh, he's Tony's black friend, or Falcon, oh, he's just Cap's black friend, or T'Chaka, and how they want him to be brought out more. And then I also realized as I looked at it, that kind of spread to other things in general. Like, we can't ever just have and whenever there's a new show or movie, oh, why is there a black guy, or why are they making it black, or why is it like this? I noticed that's been it was always there even when I was growing up, but it's been increasing more and more and more. And sometimes I feel like it's a negative perception of the two. And I don't know if it's always racism or if people think that it's pandering. What are your thoughts on that?
Why y'all looking at me?
All right, I'll jump on that one. I think it's an issue because it's not normalized yet. Part of the reason why we're here and we're talking about this is because we have not been included. If you are not the, straight white male, you have not been part of the narrative for a long time. So when you disrupt that narrative, then, all of a sudden it's an issue. So I think a lot of, the kickback, even with the Luke Cage TV show, people were mad on Twitter about that. It's why aren't there any white people in Luke Cage? I'm like, what? It's a black superhero in Harlem.
I noticed that specifically after I actually won tickets to the BET Awards, and then someone asked me why isn't there a white American thing. I was
maybe if Luke Cage takes the train downtown, you might see somebody. But it's just in Harlem.
He did. And a white guy made him blow his bar up.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Next question.
Hi, this is directed towards Dean. I just wanted to say hello because I'm Soraya.
Oh my God, that's my artist! Okay, announcement. I'm making a quick announcement because she's right there. Okay, has anybody heard of Princeless? Yeah. Okay, so I am a part of the Princeless Anthology. And that is my artist. So I've been meeting her for the first time. Well, she asked, oh, girl, you could get one of these. But no, this is really, oh my God.
And I do have a quick question. I thought if I'm going to go up here and say hello, I should at least give a question so I don't feel like I'm wasting anyone's time. But here's a quick question for creators and especially writers addressing Black characters in comics. Is there anything, and I doubt there is, but there's any like do's, do nots, sort of your professional opinion or just tips on how to go about approaching very sensitive subjects?
I might be speaking for other people, but I think if you are not of that race, do your research. You know, like if you're going to approach a topic matter or a character and so, I mean, that just goes with all writing. It's not even like specifically the Black. Like, do your research. You know, figure out like who you're talking about and try to present that story in the best way, and that'll make it more authentic. You know, otherwise you just kind of have a two-dimensional character like Cyborg.
Oh, that's shade! All right.
I'm sorry, I got Tourette's when it comes to it.
Oh, sip your tea, baby. Sip your tea. Okay. Well, damn, I don't even know what to say. But I do have another announcement to make. I know I'm like announcement woman. Okay. Has anybody heard of the mental health anthology that I am doing? Okay. So if you don't know, I'm putting together a mental health anthology. The proceeds, it will be a Kickstarter, and the proceeds are going to YCS, which is a youth consultation service located in New Jersey. Jersey people here? Hey! Y'all gotta be here. And it will be going to a therapeutic mental health facility for kids and youth. So, we have Gail Simone, Scott Snyder, Tanika Scott, this wonderful lady here, myself. You don't know? I don't know your name. Okay. There's a lot of people who are donating their time to write these books, to create comics, to talk about mental health. 1 in 4 people suffer from mental illness. There are a lot of you in here. 1 in 4 people, okay? Anxiety, depression, paranoia, bipolar. It's out there. It is a stigma that needs to be erased. And I am going to try my best with this anthology to erase the hell out of it. And also raise money to help children, because I believe that the youth and the kids, I believe it starts with them first. So on top of that, which I have spoken about, there is going to be a second book for the mental health anthology. It will be a prose book. It will be a poetry book. It will be a book on words of encouragement. There are actors involved. There are wrestlers involved. There's also Chuck Wending. Anybody know Chuck Wending? He is donating his time. G. Willow Wilson, Miss Marvel. We have Steve Orlando, who's also going to be working on it. We have Susan Eisenberg. Does anybody know who Susan Eisenberg is? She is the voice of Wonder Woman. And she is contributing something. Margaret Stoll, Black Widow. And you see others. Mickey Kendall. Woo! Y'all know Mickey Kendall. Don't act like you don't know Mickey Kendall. Okay, Carnithia, hey. There's a list. We have Sean Pryor. Anybody, some people might have some cash and carry books. This is going to happen. We are going to stamp out the stigma. And if anyone is interested in writing anything, please contact me, because this is open. This is a subject that needs to be talked about. And I'm just happy to announce this. And I know we have like 5 minutes, so we gotta make these questions like really, really quick.
All right, so I'm gonna let you finish, but my name is Matt. Good to meet you all. It's mostly a question for everybody here about dealing with, you know, the whole issue of race and whatnot in comics, media. I'm a big video game guy. I want to develop video games. I want to write them. I want to do a lot of shit. And with that in mind, it's become increasingly apparent to me that I probably picked the worst medium to go into if it comes to trying to produce a diverse mindset. Because even when there is a shadow of discussion about a black protagonist, people start looking for reasonings. But I'm not going to go too far into that. But what I want to go far into, what I want to discuss today is the issue of actually talking about it. I used to be a firm believer in the instrumental value of catching more flies with honey than with vinegar. Making sure that people I tried to bring race issues to were comfortable with how I spoke to them, how they were always okay, you know, how they always felt fine and dandy whenever I spoke to them. And I used to believe that worked. However, somewhere along the line I realized that was BS because two people who were very close to me ended up having a falling out with me because, well, they said some racist BS over a video game. I wasn't willing to take it, and they decided they were done. And, you know, this is something I tried, you know, catching flies with honey, not vinegar. So I started getting angry. Started telling people straight up, yo, this is not okay. You can't be doing this. Started giving them reasons. Whenever they gave excuses, I just gave more reasons. And they would occasionally tell me, being too upset, being too, you know, loud, being too vocal. You know, tried being nice, but didn't work with the last people I hung around with. So what I want to ask you is, I suppose that even the whole anger idea isn't the end-all be-all, but neither is catching flies with honey and vinegar. Which one is the go-to, or maybe there's a balance? Where do we go from here?
I guess that's a good question. I mean, the truth of it is that I think you're taking the right approach. You know, you are not here to please other people or make them feel comfortable if they are in turn making you uncomfortable. Like those two people, they probably weren't your friends. Maybe your real friends are gonna actually listen to you and consider you and understand like your perspective. Like that's what we're trying to move towards. That's the conversation that we're trying to have with people now, because with social media is starting to like elevate, you know, black issues, like LGBTQ issues and stuff like that. We need to have this conversation. We're not gonna like sweep it under the rug anymore. And if you don't want to have that conversation, that's on you, but it's just gonna happen. So go sit in another room, you know, go stump for Trump or something. Like that's it's not our problem. You know, so stick to your guns, man. And if you want to make video games, go make video games. You don't gotta ask permission.
That ass. You don't. Same thing with comics. You do not have to ask permission to make comics. You go.
Just do yourself and talk about whatever, like, it's your boundary. Like, you get to set the boundary of whatever you feel comfortable with. Even if it's not quote unquote nice, it's what you feel comfortable with.
Seriously. When it comes, those who know me know I'm a loudmouth. I'm a loudmouth. I will say whatever the hell's in my mind. I don't care. I will call people out on their shit. Hi DC, hi Marvel. I always call y'all out, and it's okay that you banned me. I'm cool with that. But I'm still gonna run my mouth. I'm still gonna talk shit about why there are no creators of color. Like, you know, if you were attending the panel, I spoke about the Roxanne Gay and writing the World of Wakanda book. Skipped over a lot of black women creators, and black women comic creators, we really get the short end of the shit stick. We really do. It's like we're not there. But we are there. I'm here. I'm not trying to write for them, but
I want to jump on that because one of the biggest issues that I've had, and the reason why I feel that is because of exactly what this panel about is inclusion. So it's great that, you know, Marvel is starting to see the value of like diverse faces and diverse creators when they got called out on it. But part of the reason why they didn't have that perception was because they don't have people of color, they don't have that many on their staff.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem. You're not gonna have people championing like Black issues or Asian issues or like gay issues if you don't have them on staff. So the majority of the comic industry is still a bunch of white dudes, you know? So they don't have that perception, and it's not malicious. It's like, but how is a straight white guy who's sitting around a bunch of other straight white guys gonna have like that perception if there's no other people in the room? You're not gonna get that in there. So that's what actually needs to change for more people to get jobs, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, editors are great and all, but again, the perception is not.
When I was an editor, like the first book that I did for Zoo was with Jeremy Love, who was a Black creator that nobody like at DC knew about. But I was like hip to his work, and that was the first thing we put out, Bayou. Like, it's a great book, but I have that perception because I'm Black. Like that's on the forefront of my mind. Like this is something missing, and this is a great story as well. But you're not going to get that from, you know, the editorial group that's there right now. They're just not thinking about it. And it's,
Straight old white dudes.
Yeah, I don't want to say, I don't want to paint them in a light that's saying like, oh, it's their fault, or like not being like champions and stuff like that. It's just like, but understand that like you're in kind of like an ecosphere essentially, and you're only like repeating the same stuff. So you're only going to get like Green Lantern, or you're going to produce like Simon Baz with like a terrorist mask on and like a gun. Is like, yeah, like that was the character design, but that's because they don't have that perception yet, and until you kind of like yell at them a little bit, like they're not gonna be woke to it.
Seriously, and you know the artists. I gotta say, artists, you know, when it comes to drawing Black women's hair, can we get it right?
What, we don't all have afros?
No, we all don't have afros, and you know we all don't have curly. I'm just, you know, saying there's more than just one hairstyle. So that's a little shade, which I like to do. I love you. Okay, so listen, we gotta wrap it up because they're showing signs and whatnot.
Can I have one quick question? It's just a yes or no.
Oh, no. Go ahead, baby.
So I'm a full-time community organizer with New York Civil Liberties Union, and I want to make sure that we're prioritizing lifting up directly impacted folks in our movement and all the politics that are happening across the nation. Can I just get down the line a yes or a no from folks who are interested in helping me develop a proposal for my organization in New York State to use comics as a medium to move our movement ahead? And I'll follow up with anyone who says yes with what that proposal looks like.
Yeah.
Catch me when we're done, I'll give you my card.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, that is enough. We have some acceptance little minis if anybody would like any for our new book. Come on up and you know, thank you all for attending. We appreciate it. And I-13.
Comics on the way out.
Yes, please pick up some comics on the way out because I am not taking them home. You're welcome.